things. David, how long has theREIGN actually been in existence?
Let me see, it was August the 19th, 2002 that we first stood in a room together, 9 of us in those days, and made had our first rehearsal, so it's about 8.5 years. We've been theREIGN for just over 8 years. But
how did you come into it? I mean, what spurred it on? What was it? Was it just a group of people in church coming together, or was it an inspiration, or what?
I'd done, so in 2001, when I came back to Hull, I did a recording of some of the early sort of worship songs that I wrote, and it was all done with MIDI and computers and all that sort of thing. And Kath and I were invited out to a congress in Holland over that sort of Christmas New Year in 2001, and we sang with a proper worship band, if you like. And I had some new songs sort of milling around. I thought, if I'm going to do these properly, I need to have some real live musicians to order around rather than just tapping everything into a computer. Sadly, the ordering about it has never quite come off, but that was it really. I mean, really, the whole point of it was to just bring a group of musicians together just to do this recording, copies of which are available at the end. For anybody who hasn't got one here, I think there are many. And so that was it. But we sort of stood there on that first rehearsal and thought, we can't just do this rehearsal. There's more to it than that. We've got to try and do something else with it. And so here we are, I say, 8.5 years later, still at it. 4 of us left from that first rehearsal. Right. People come and go, but apart from that.
And what is the future of theREIGN? I mean, I think the biggest thing you've brought out over the last few years has been Communion on the Rocks, the Rock Eucharist. Is that something you're developing and continuing? Is that where you see your main thrust going?
It's most of what we do, actually, in terms of numbers of events. We do sort of up to half a dozen in the spring, up to half a dozen in the autumn. And it's given us something that's a little bit different. Because there's lots of bands around that can do this sort of thing. You sort of stand at the front and sing, and everybody joins in, and then goes down at the end. What I really like about Communion on the Rocks, which, to give credit where it's due, was actually Paul and Rachel's initial vision. And I'm sure I didn't grab a word with Paul. I'm sure he'll talk a bit more about that. But basically, for us, it's an opportunity to worship and to do something very traditional that we've always done, as long as we've been Christians, but to do it in a different way, and in a way that also combines it with our love of making music, because ultimately, combining those things just makes it really special for us.
Now, I think a few of us here have got your first 2 CDs, which seem to come together quite quickly. There's not been a lot for several years now, right? And a lot, in fact, all the stuff on the first is stuff that you have composed. So apart from being the worship leader, the coordinator, you are also, I know, your ministry is actually writing songs and actually composing. Where is that at the moment? I think there's something in the pipeline just about to come out.
There is. We've talked for a long time as a band about doing a live album for a number of reasons. One is it's actually much easier to do that than it is to, in terms of time commitment, than it is to get in the studio and do it. But also we've felt not to play down the 2 that we've done, because I really like them both in their own way. But we think we've never quite captured what theREIGN really feels like in a studio. There's something quite clinical about the way that we do it. So we wanted to do a live recording, and again, credit where it's due, John Osborne has worked really, really hard on making it work in a church like this. I mean, we did, as you know, we did record the concert when we were here in September. Sadly, it wasn't up to the standard that we wanted, as much because of the way we played as anything else. It just wasn't quite good enough, really, for us to start putting it out there. But we have captured a concert that we're trying desperately to find a launch date for it at the moment, in with everything else that we're doing. And it's a mixture of things. I mean, there's quite a few songs on there that were on the first 2 CDs. There's Never Failing Love, which is a new song, which we played here before, and is in the set for the second half. And there's a few worship songs, there's a couple of covers in there as well. So I think it's a really nice reflection of what we do as a band. And I think it goes, if you like, a step beyond what we've done before, which is what we're always about. We don't want to just do a CD for the sake of doing a CD. It needs to do something a little bit more than the last one that we did. And I think that's what this will do. It will be out shortly when we can find a launch date for it.
I think you've been coming here about 4 or 5 years now. And I'm sorry the recording wasn't up to the, I think, to have the rain live at Holy Trinity Barrow.
It might still happen, John.
But, have you got a word of encouragement for us here? Because I'm not sure you do much on the south bank, are you? Very much north.
We're very much, north and sort of, away from in those sort of directions. We haven't done a lot in Lincolnshire at all, really, apart from here. What really struck us about coming to Barrow in the first place was how welcoming the whole thing was. Jennifer Merge and I sort of sat down and talked about what we were going to do, and she was concerned that it was all a bit alien for the church, or felt it all might be a little bit alien for the church. And I know some people had seen us play at Swanland, where Catherine and I worship and film. So I think there was some nervousness within the church, not so much from our side, because we just love to play, and the opportunity to come and play was amazing. But it's, all I can say really is we've always found it a real encouragement to come here, because people appreciate what we do, and I think that the most telling thing for me is that this is a church that worships. And when we come here and we play, we know that people out there are worshipping. And at the end of it all, regardless of anything else, regardless of what songs I've written, what CDs we've made, how good we sound, if we step up and stand at the front and people worship with us, that's all that matters at the end of it all. And that is always the feeling that we walk out from here. It doesn't matter whether there's 5 people here or 50 or 100. If people are worshipping, that's what it's all about.
That's good to hear, Dave. Thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, David,